Hello, everybody. Hello, Michal. So welcome to our webinar today on the rise of AI in web development and SEO, and so what's changing and how to keep up. So I'm Stephen Neville, I'm our host. I'm CEO of BugHerd, former agency owner myself. And this conversation is part of our mission to help agencies thrive by giving them, the tools and insights they need to stay competitive. So AI, very hot topic, obviously. It isn't just changing how we work, it's reshaping, the world around us. And beyond that hype, people are asking, what's actually changing and how do we keep up and what can we do today? So I'm excited to introduce our guest expert. We use his product. This is Michal Suski. Michal is a co-founder and head of innovation at Surfer SEO, where he's at the forefront of AI-powered SEO tools. He's been helping agencies optimize content for better rankings long before AI became mainstream. And now he's leading a charge on how AI is transforming content strategy and search optimization. So his insights be extremely valuable for those of us and helping us make changes in our own journey. So Michal, it'd be great if you could give us a brief introduction to tell us about your journey before SEO, and before Surfer, and then how, where Surfer came from.
Thank you for having me. Really big pleasure. Well, I graduated as a Master of Science at Forestry, so I didn't start in IT at all. But apparently, I was thrown into this digital marketing like 8 years ago, and I was working in marketing agency, SEO agency, where we had issues with scaling up, and because we had issues with scaling up, we need to hire more people, but it turned out that the agency was located in a village. There was nobody to hire, so we had to scale up the processes. And so how to scale the processes? We need tools. Are there any tools for on the market that could help us scale on page optimization? No. So we built the tool ourselves, and we were the first client of Surfer. And it turned out that, well, we can maybe quit the agency work and start building a SaaS product full time. So we did, and it's been like 7 years now. We keep on building the product for all the people who publish content on the web and want actually real people to read the content and find it in organic search. So that's what I do right now. I help people get more organic traffic, and not only in search right now, but also in large language models, in ChatGPT, in Perplexity, in AI overviews, AI mode, and all that stuff that is popping up like crazy.
Excellent. Well, it seems like a space that you understand very well. So, very excited to dive into this with you. Before we do, just quick housekeeping. We have the chat open, so if anyone wants to introduce himself, hi Gregory. We're excited to see you as well. Please put any questions. We also have a Q&A open, so please put any questions in the Q&A section. We'll address them as we go. We also have an allocated 10 minutes for Q&A at the end. So, with all of that out of the way, I'm super keen to get started. So. Michal, so you've just kind of touched on Surf was around before the current AI boom. We used different words for it back then.
Mhm.
So I guess like what from your perspective, what's the biggest challenge agencies face today that simply didn't exist before you founded Surfer?
Uh, the biggest thing is actually the pace of the changes you need to keep up with. Because when I was joining the SEO industry, I was like, oh, this niche is so cool that I don't need 10 years experience to beat in the search these guys who have the 10 years experience, because it's evolving. And if I keep myself up to date, I actually can overtake them in the search results. But now it's so fast that I even regret my words. So this problem didn't exist back then. It could be an opportunity, but now even for people like that are really passionate about getting the idea like of what is changing in SEO environment, in content environment, in getting traffic from organic search, it's so fast that it is an opportunity for really small amount of crazy grinding people. So I would say that's the problem right now, to keep yourself up to date with all the changes, with SEO turning into geo LLEO, whatever we call it. visibility in all different places over the web. This is the biggest change, I would say. It's so fast. It's really hard to keep up.
You touched on something in there around the kind of human oversight need. Sorry, like speed expectations, right? And so how that, I think, as we use technology to get faster, where does that
Mhm.
human oversight piece still play a role?
Yeah. So there are a lot of tedious elements of everyone's work, whether it's content creation or writing repeatable code or designing the same ad for Facebook over and over. So that's repeatable. And I believe that thanks to the technology helping us in these areas, we can focus on the creative part of our work. So let's say back in the days, we used to have 90% for these repeatable tasks and only 10% we could crave from the day to actually spend it on innovation, basically. And right now, all of these tasks can be automated, so uh, we are supposed to, we should, and actually there's even no other way to keep up, to allocate more of that resource on innovation, on creative work. So this is the opportunity for everybody who want to do something more than average.
Yeah, nice. And so, I'm going to lead it. So, from that perspective, how do you see the AI tools are reshaping the process of web development and content?
um, so I would bring back the previous thought. uh, AI tools are reshaping because we can spend our time differently. We used to spend the time doing these tedious work, and now that work is done, we can consider it done, and we can start thinking about something new, maybe some crazy ideas, maybe some creative ways of launching a new website, creative ways of launching a new campaign, creative ways of sharing our knowledge, uh, which wasn't possible before, only for some folks who had like huge team behind them that could take care of these that tedious work. Only these were privileged to be creative, to spend the time in this way. And uh, AI is a huge blessing, so more people can actually spend their time on creative work. That's a big opportunity for everyone. We should jump on this train ASAP.
And so, do you think, in that sense, so I guess the AI tools is creating empowerment for people, so whether it's
Hmm.
developers or content people, but is it also creating a kind of new dependencies that need to be managed carefully as well? One
Yeah.
thought that always comes to my mind in this space is if you don't have entry level skills, so whether you're a developer and you're not learning the kind of basics of that, um, or in content, if you're not learning the basics of kind of SEO and it's all being handled by, over time, are we losing a knowledge base that is, or is someone, an entry level person not getting the knowledge they need to be able to succeed in that space in the future?
Yeah, so I would say if you do not have the basics, I would say that AI, ChatGPT can be a good tutor on the basics. So only after you get the basics and you understand the cornerstone of whatever you do, whether it's content creation, web development, SEO, marketing, any other, like even support. Uh, Only after you get the basics you can leverage AI properly, because without that your AI assistant will be a yes man. Oh, great idea, let's follow up. Oh, a great article, a great piece of code, whatever. And if you don't know the basics you will always think like, oh nice, it admires my work, but in the end you are supposed to be more critical to these outputs, and without the basics you cannot be critical, and it will leave you in a loop of never ending, like, great idea, 2 plus 2 equals 5, great, but you can fall in that loop, and being aware of that is a key to leveraging the AI in any niche.
So that's great. So I guess that, yeah, that you touched on the kind of common challenge or mistakes you see when people kind of start out experimenting with AI. So can you kind of elaborate a little bit more into that space? So beyond not having kind of domain knowledge, are there other mistakes people make early on?
Mm-hmm. I would say people get overhyped and try to do things that are either too hard for AI out of the box, or too hard when it comes to a long chain of prompts and different sources of information. So people try to optimize their hardest processes, while they are supposed to optimize their easiest processes first, to understand uh, how you set up the the whole environment, how you can leverage the AI to either generate the code, generate some content, generate even ideas for campaigns. Um, so my number one advice in starting out is to starting with the lowest tier tasks, even help you write an email, even help you cook a dinner, something that will basically show you the way of thinking of the AI. So then when you know the uh, blind spots, when you know the weaknesses of AI, you can actually use it in places where it can shine, not in places where it will always tell you, yes, yes, great idea. So that's the number one advice I would have.
We have a great question here in the Q&A. So are there specific AI tools that you think are useful throughout that web development process? So obviously, I will give you guys a shout out here, which is Surfer SEO. We are a Surfer user. It is very useful for us in the content and content optimization space. Do you have be kind of earlier in the process in terms of web development and design? Are there any specific tools that you would recommend? And I can also talk to the tools that are in our process, because there are quite a few.
Yeah, for our marketing team, we use Surfer to write the actual pieces, but we also use a lot the chat gpt for our personal research, analyzing big data sets. It's really helpful to draw conclusions, because for me, reading, like, I don't know, 100,000 words of data research, it's just crazy, because I will forget the beginning, even not being in a half. So it's super super helpful for that. And I also heard from the developers at Surfer. We've got like 20-ish developers in house, and some of them told me that they use AI coding assistants like Cursor for some POC code, like something that's not going on production, but something that, let's say, uh, let's do a quick and dirty proof of concept of whatever. It's quite often me asking for that quick and dirty POC, but then they will use it. They will use AI to help them out, uh, because it doesn't have to be 100% reliable. It just has to show me and the folks, like, does it make sense to do it? Is the output really the way we thought it will be? And with that POC that is quick and dirty, not always working, but enough to say, okay, we should invest 2-3 weeks of proper development. Yeah, it helps with content. It helps with a lot of content analysis, so reverse engineering and summarization and stuff like that. Plus, the code in proof of concept definitely is useful. Not in the niches like niche languages though, because we use a lot of Elixir, which is not really common programming language, and it's not the greatest in that, but writing some HTML, writing some PHP, top notch. Definitely, I would recommend trying it out yourself. Basically, that's the number one advice. Actually, try it out. Try it out. You will be amazed.
And just
Don't put it aside for tomorrow.
to add to that, so from our process, certainly there are three main tools, or I guess like four main tools baked into our process from an AI perspective. Um, Certainly, Claude is my main one for just the kind of research and content space, but ChatGPT as well. Cursor we use quite extensively. It speeds up our development process quite a lot. It doesn't replace anybody in that sense, but it gives them the ability to kind of just get things done a bit faster. And then Surfer for our marketing team is also an absolutely essential tool. To quote my content writer, it makes us 10x faster. So I'm not here to sell your product, but we do like it. So there you go. Delving more into SEO quickly, and a lot of people here for this area. So in the AI first SEO space, like what separates winning pages, and what's the biggest risk with AI generated content? And I noticed in the chat here, so Gregory,
Yeah, there are some great questions in there,
yeah, so like
and
let's just kind of spend a little bit of time kind of on some of these topics, because I think
yeah, let me demystify the thing. So there are two ingredients in ranking in Google. First, it's all about semantics. So when Google doesn't have uh, any behavioral signals, let's say I published an article today, nobody read it yet. It is just there, and Google indexed it, and based on the semantics, it's perfect. But it is full of these let's delve into something, let's embark on a journey, fasten your seatbelts, and all of that GPT like keywords. Google doesn't give a nothing about it. It will rank it. But when people will start reading it, and if they do not like it, then they will start sending negative behavioral signals. Let's say, I'm not even reading this article because it starts with let's embark on a journey. It's definitely AI. I'm not reading. So if that will be the case and people will just leave your page, then they will send the negative behavioral signals, and you will uh, over time lose rankings. So my tactic that is kind of bit gray hat, let's say, is to publish as much as you can. And when some pages start to pick up in impressions, in positions, in traffic, so you already tested Google that your website is strong enough to rank for this keyword. If that's the case and you start climbing up, it is just the right moment to invest your time, your real writing, into turning this article not to send negative behavioral signals. So in the end, it's not that Google penalize you, but people who are pissed off reading another GPT common word, they actually penalize you. So yeah, that's it. That's it basically.
so. You would suggest, I guess, this concept of human rewrite, so that you really focus on that kind of the rewrite once you start to get some signal that it is
Mhm.
an area of interest,
In-
and
uh,
then, or is it always rewrite?
Depending on the technology you use, because well, the time flies, and I actually sold you a tip from 3 months ago, which is already quite can be quite outdated in some cases, because Actually, we recently cracked the code of humanizing content, and we trained some models that turned out to really mimic someone else's style. And I was really amazed with the attention to detail of the style. So right now I am humanizing everything because it is just one click. I just provide a sample of the text of Steven, and I get the Steven like content, and you are not able to tell me whether you wrote it or not. So it is humanized, but there is a little caveat in it, because when you provide a reference text that has some key characteristics that you didn't even realize you have, and let's say you use some specific words, and then you humanize it with that sample, and you turn out, oh, it sounds so AI because it repeats this concept, and then you look into the sample you provided, and you scratch your head, oh snap, I really write like that, so it's really copying my style. That's a little caveat in there, but overall, right now, from a couple of months, let's say, I humanize everything, just to keep my content concise on the style, because when I got the author, I like one of the car journalist style, and I use that journalist as a reference text, and now all my articles sound really, I mean, similar is a bad word, sound coherent. The article, like when you look at the first article, the second, the fifth, you seem like there is like a connection between them in style. So that's the uh, well, that's the thing. That's why I like to use the same reference text in there. Uh,
And so, um, on that kind of humanization, like, are there specific steps? Is there a specific process that that you follow? Is it baked into
yeah,
sort of, is it something?
people try to use ChatGPT to provide the reference text, and like, hey, rewrite it like you were Jim Carrey. Here is his article, and it doesn't work. I mean, to some extent, it's kind of short-legged, shallow approach, because I don't know why, but it doesn't work. We pre-trained models to actually copy the style, and mm, it really sound like the person. So uh, phew, you can try with some general models. uh, Probably Claude will be the best in the style, but to get the style really spot on, you need to train your own model, or check the Surfer's Humanizer. That will be the shameless plug in this webinar. So yeah, that's it.
So, I guess to elaborate slightly on that, like things that I think are very important that are sometimes missed is certainly, as you said, all the generic headlines of stuff, the generic words that get used, the generic, that's always been a little bit of a problem in SEO to some degree
Yeah.
anyway, even before, and it now gets worse. Uh, the other things are around, the brand voice, like tone of voice, that type of stuff.
And you know what? It will be getting even worse,
Yes.
uh, because I see some questions about the era of AI and optimizing content for AI as well.
I
And
want to come to that question quickly, Michael. So I'll segue into that very briefly. The other thing that's very important from a humanization thing is just fact checking. Like what we know is that these tools sometimes make stuff up in terms of numbers in particular. They will reference things. It's very important to just make sure that we're
yeah,
checking all of that stuff with
Retrieval
yes.
augmented generation. If you don't know that the term, check it out, because it will be the key factor to reduce the amount of uh, failed checks. You always have to check, You always have to check. But if you do the retrieval augmented generation, 90% of these numbers will be okay. And if you don't do it, 90% will be hallucination. So that's the problem. Um,
So
and are we segueing to the other one?
yeah, I just want to go so quickly. I guess like the broader question here is, like what separates, winning pages, in an AI first space, like what separates winning pages from losing ones, and then there is a secondary question to that, which is, are we still going to be dealing with kind of Google in 5 years' time, in a sense, or do we think? But we'll park that one for now. So just on the first, with really in today's world with AI search, yeah, what separates winning in there from losing, or is it still the same?
No, it's not the same because I'm actually conducting quite a big data study on the actual topics. I'm really glad you asked. But the thing is that people assess information in a different way than large language models. And if you ask AI to understand a piece of content and extract the information, it does not need emotions. It does not need anecdotes. It does not need any side something side dishes. Let's say it only needs uh, concise, from general to specific, really well explained in ideally shortest format in bullet points in the tables. So basically, the the information density for large language model is critical. For people is not that critical because when you are reading content, you want to keep your brain really happy, engaged that you are reading something. So someone has like put a joke inside or put something that will give you a moment to breathe. And AI only wants like to the point information, to the point information, to the point information. So it's not creative, good to read content. That's the point I have. Uh, Large language models really want dry facts, one after another, as little sidetracks as possible, while people have to have these side tracks to actually enjoy reading the content. And we will have some sort of a battle between, do I write for people to read it, or do I write for large language models to read it and then cite me in their what's the best SEO tool? So they will cite me, not somebody else. So I don't have the answer which way should we go, but definitely we will be having this dilemma sooner than later when the AI search will become more and more significant, because in numbers it's low right now, but these numbers quality is so much higher. I will just tell you that traffic for surferseo.com from Google, from organic, is like 40 times higher than traffic from ChatGPT and other LLMs. But the conversion from ChatGPT people is 24 times higher. So the traffic from LLMs is so much more caloric. We got a lot of empty leads, let's say, coming to the website from Google. So
So
probably is leaning towards
yeah,
there.
do you think that's because they are pre-warmed, in the sense that a lot of context has been given, in the response, with then, hey, you can go to Surfer, uh, to find out, like to sign up, basically, rather than the kind of in the Google world, you're doing all of that research yourself.
Excuse me.
So I was saying, do you think that like higher conversion rate is because people are
Ah,
have been pre-sold via the context of response in Perplexity versus in Google
Maybe.
they're doing a lot of that research.
I would say that in our perspective is different because our potential customers are, let's say, techies, SaaS owners, marketers. They they already know ChatGPT. They already find it useful. They already adopted it like crazy. So they will probably do the final check, like, hey, review me the pricing, or review me the features, and then tell me the differences. And it can be this last click kind of attribution, because, well, I've got the chat gpt, why don't I use it to try to check which tool should I use, like, why not, it costs me nothing, so I will do it. And probably that's the thing, that the last click attribution in there, and the like that the people who buy Surfer, they already have ChatGPT, so why not try and get out on the analysis? So that will be my guess. For plumbers, let's say, or let's say these offline services, it won't be that common to ask ChatGPT what's the best plumber around.
Yeah.
Not really, right?
So yeah, we're seeing, I mean, already a lot of that augmentation with Google's AI responses. Certain industries are much more affected by than others. Certainly, we're in a technology space. There's a lot
Mhm.
of a lot. I was reading something that says things like travel even actually get a lot less AI response, or real estate in Australia gets a lot less AI response than say a lot of other industries in Google.
Yeah, they're first stealing the information type of content, like, what is this, how to do that, what's the process of whatever,
Yep.
something that they can easily it's a steal from the original author. Let's be honest in there. They are just repurposing your content, not giving you traffic. uh, that's that's a shady practice from Google, but they set the rules, and, well, we can always put a no index tag on our website, which won't be a big advantage. So, well, we need to play their game, unfortunately.
We do. So just on to kind of, I'm conscious of time because, but onto so kind of more practical activities. So, if what is like the biggest opportunity you think people are missing right now with in AI? We'll keep it limited to kind of SEO this response. And what's one thing that you think they should stop doing today?
First, optimize all of the existing content you have, because you put a lot of effort in creating the blog posts, the landing pages, whatever type of content that ranks. And if it's not touched within the recent 3 months, it is most likely outdated, and not only outdated from the perspective that, okay, there's a new iPhone, or there's a new president of the state, so you are outdated, but you are outdated because the Google changed the requirements. So some more missing entities, some more missing facts to cover and stuff like that. So people are really sleeping on the money with not optimizing as many pages as they can, because most of the companies have a huge content depth in terms of optimization. That will be the thing that they are supposed to be doing right now. What they are supposed to stop doing, uh, publishing like crazy. I think that they should stop publishing like crazy, and look back at what they did so far. And most likely there's a lot of stuff that's already well researched, well written, but missing some optimization. uh, yeah, rewriting for optimization density, yes, definitely. If you really want to rank in LLMs and sacrifice a little the readability for humans, but I believe there's a way to marry these two, and we will be working hard to actually help you guys get to optimize both search engines and large language models. But basically it's mostly about entities that are missing, which are these relevant terms that some competitors started to use, and you are missing, plus some facts, that they are using, you are not answering these questions. So basically, keep up with what's currently ranking in Google. That'll be the thing.
All the best. I'm going to kind of rush towards the end so we can get to some Q&A in the allotted time left. So I'm going to hit you with 4 statements. I just want a gut reaction to each of these, basically true or false. No need to elaborate. AI content will kill organic rankings.
No.
Okay. Google can reliably detect AI content.
No.
AI will replace SEO professionals within 5 years.
And I have yes or no.
You can see.
No. It won't. It won't. We still have a technical SEO. We still have link building. There's a no.
Okay, and agencies that don't adopt tools will be obsolete within 5 years.
Yes, for sure.
Excellent. There's some interesting topics. Alec, I'll get to you. Alex, you've got a question in there. I'll get to that in the Q&A. Just to wrap up before we get to Q&A. So the Q&A is open. Anybody, you can either put them in the chat or into the Q&A. So just start asking questions now, and then we can go into some of the concepts in more detail in that space. But one final thought, how if agencies take away one thing from this conversation, what should it be?
Wake up tomorrow, or if it's early for you, just start your day with some solving problem with AI. One simple problem you have, try to solve it today or tomorrow morning.
And I guess as a follow-on from that, is there an experiment that you think someone could run today that's quick in time and fast to value?
Yeah, get your last blog post you published and put it in ChatGPT and ask it what is it missing.
Yep, excellent advice. Okay, all right. So as I said, you can either chuck questions into Q&A. We'll spend kind of 5-10 minutes. I think we have 5 minutes left, so we'll just kind of go through pretty quickly. So one of the first ones is from Alex Cole. Thanks, Alex. Is how soon do you predict the shift into writing content for users and organic search into writing content for AI agents? Presumably, an AI agent will lean towards more facts-based content piece rather than more creative, human and humorous piece.
I think we went through that in a conversation, but let me repeat it quickly because Zoe is also asking the same question. So basically, as little side tracks for LLMs, the better, because it is all based on these vectors, and they will turn the content into numbers. These numbers will be put into space, and if all of these numbers, let's say, are concentrated in a similar area, for LLM is easy to understand. But if these paragraphs of your content are like, this one is here, the other one is there, the other one is there, it is really confusing for Google. If you throw in a joke, it will start thinking, why the hell the joke is there? What is its role? Like, am I supposed to extract the point of the joke now, or what? So the AI, the LLMs, the AI agents need as little confuse as possible, and the structure is critical for them, from general to specific, really obvious names of the headings. Don't be creative, be to the point, be straightforward, and this way you can get. And by the way, give the answer right away. From the study we are conducting right now, it turned out that the most of the answers pulled from the AI overview sources are found within first 50 or 100 words of the article. So really, please don't create huge introductions. If you want to give introduction, answer the question first, and then give the introduction. Okay.
Which I think answers Jason's question as well here, which is, how do we optimize content to show up referenced in our search results? And it reminds me of being at university and being told how to write an essay. the structure of an essay is you tell someone what you're going to tell them, you tell them, and then you tell them what you told them. So an introduction which has the answers, you then elaborate, and then you have a conclusion which just summarizes all.
Exactly. And it needs to be a follow-up of each other. Like each section should be a result of a previous section, basically. So why are you giving this another elaboration? Because the topic is complex, and that's the first part of elaboration, that's the second part of the elaboration, and that's the third part of the elaboration, and then there's a bullet point summary of that. And maybe people do not want to read it like that, which is a pity, but LLMs really like this. Too long, didn't read type of summary at the beginning, like key takeaways from the article, even key takeaways from the sections, and the tables and the bullet points. And this is what they really like to read. It's a easy to follow structure.
Excellent, thank you. So I have one which was kind of touched on earlier, which is Google gets around 200 billion in annual ad revenue from search. Does this create kind of, I guess, like the innovator's dilemma that limits how aggressively they're able to evolve in this space? So, like, broadly speaking, who do we think is going to win? Who do you think is going to win the AI race? So if we fast forward 5 years, is it Google or is it, say, Perplexity or ChatGPT or?
It all depends on the money flowing from Microsoft, because OpenAI is like uh, not profitable company, and uh, if they can keep being not profitable for years from now, they have a chance. But if there will be any hiccup in a in the flow, then it may really be a disaster for them, because Google is really okay. Google is delayed with everything, but Google is working on a so much bigger environment. They have the Titanic. It's really not easy to turn that kind of ship around, and OpenAI is like a speedboat, so much easier, obviously compared to Google. So this is why you can have a feeling like, oh, OpenAI is really fast, it's really like innovating and so on. But look, it's been a couple of months, and now you got the AI mode in Google, that was followed like, and right before we had the AI overview, and now AI mode, and you know they are really close. So I think that Google will keep the position. Maybe not as monopolistic as it is right now, but it will keep the position.
Excellent. Uh, well, I won't hold you to that response. So we'll maybe check in 5 years and see see how right you were. But thank you everybody for today. Michal, thank you for sharing such practical insights, giving us like real actionable strategies, I think, that we can kind of think through today. For those interested in learning more about Surfer's AI's SEO tools, you can find Michal on, I was about to say Michael, but I know it's Michal, you're Polish. Michal on LinkedIn, or visit surferseo.com. We'll also give you the opportunity to contact us a survey following this question. One last request, when you exit the webinar, there'll be a quick feedback survey. We're all about continuous improvement. We love feedback. We make a feedback tool. So we love your input to help us make these sessions more valuable. And yeah, thanks everyone for joining us today. Good luck implementing any strategies. And thanks again, Michal.
Thank you. And if anybody has any questions, hit me up on LinkedIn. I'm happy to help you, everyone from here. So talk soon.